Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 183 for Tuesday, the 17th of October, 2023. I'm your host, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me today is...
I'm back from a little bit of time off because apparently my girlfriend's got a puncher, Snick Fights.
And Sensei Switch, as usual.
A puncher?
Yeah. Oh, that's a joke. When you had, was it Stunty on a few weeks ago, and you said, oh, he's busy at working with his girlfriend, and then he said, is he a blow-up doll?
Oh, right.
See,
oh, dear.
Something for the regulars to get, and you didn't, so...
Well, at least you've been listening, mate. You've probably been listening better than me.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't listen back to yourself, would you?
I've got to edit it, but I kind of zone out the sound of... Everyone, it's always the sound of your own voice you hate, so...
Edit? You mean top and tail?
Top and tail, mate. Yeah, top and tail.
Yep.
Like a snail. Yeah. So, how was everyone? All good?
Bad, not bad.
Yeah, I'm good. Like 2 weeks off of nights, so I'm happy.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, so
Backflip news.
Yeah.
Yeah, nights suck ass, man. Absolutely suck ass.
Yeah, well, it was only like 1 in 4, but then that turned into every other week for like the last year, and then...
Ooh, yeah, sucks.
Which is not good, but what can you do?
Yeah. Tell them you don't want to do it anymore?
Well, they actually told me, but I'm still getting paid as if I was doing it, so that's not too bad.
Oh, that's good.
Still getting the same money, like as if I did do the nights, because basically if the guy decides to quit tomorrow, then we'll just be back to where we were again, if you see what I mean.
Oh, so you're hoping he doesn't quit then?
Yeah, hopefully not. I'll just keep like sending him like muffins and chocolate cakes and stuff to keep him sweet.
Nice. Excellent, mate. Excellent. That's good. Yeah, so we had to have a replacement for you last week. We had Graham join us from the community, or Gamox. That was quite nice. Nice to have him on.
Yeah, I listened. Well, not to all of it because I'm paying for Patreon. I'm too tight for that. I did for a little while, and then I stopped it because I didn't know what it was on. Like through PayPal, I was like, I don't know what that is, so I stopped it, and I was like, oh, it was that. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, so that's all right. That's fine, mate. Patreon's going okay. Have lost a couple of subs this month, though, unfortunately. But
they're getting tight.
The life is
into the winter. Yeah.
Well, I understand it. I'm the same. I mean. It's a struggle, cost of living and all that, so I completely understand. And there's no pressure on people to sign up, but...
I also think Patreon take quite a big percentage as well.
Yeah, they do. They do take quite a big percentage because I've got one of the higher tier ones because obviously they host all the podcasts on there and stuff, so... Yeah. But it's fine, it's fine, It's all right. It's better than nothing. So that's all good. It's all good. All good in the hood. So, yeah, I just had a new sub this month, though. Old Angelos, he subbed for a year. He did a year subscription because we have an option. If you do a year subscription, you get quite a hefty discount instead of paying it monthly. So we opted to do that.
It's all paid up front. You don't have to worry, do you? Then it's like, that's all sorted for a year. Nice.
It's like Game Pass or whatever, It's like, I don't know, 20 quid a month or whatever. But if you buy it, but if you buy it for a year, you get like 30% discount or something. So definitely worth it if you've got the cash up front, So. Just saying, I'm just putting it out there for those people out there who are pondering signing up.
Christmas is coming up. Who wouldn't want a year-long Patreon subscription?
Yeah, what a great Christmas present that would be to one of your gaming buddies. A year's subscription to your favourite podcast.
Yeah, give that to the missus. She'll be like, what is this shit?
You walk in every week. You're not enjoying your gift yet? Right.
I should print out some vouchers if people want to buy a year, so I could send them this voucher and put it in a little card or something. That'd be
There you
funny
go. You
as.
know what to get you. You know what to get your wife this Christmas, Webby.
That's it. Too bloody right.
Yeah,
Oh,
then it'd be
dear.
getting a divorce.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, she's already a bit upset because she wanted to go to visit her family in Australia for Christmas, but with the flight prices being so expensive, we're not doing it.
Isn't like that one of the most expensive times to actually go over there as well?
I think it's the most expensive time to go anywhere.
Because it's their summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Christmas time.
Yeah.
So I should do the opposite. I should go over there during our summer.
Yeah. Mate, if you go over during our summer, it's their winter and it's still like minimum like 25 degrees.
Yeah. It's still a long way though, isn't it? I mean, you would understand spending a lot of money on flight tickets going to, the other side of the world. It's like when you want to nip to France over the summer and they want like £1,200 for a ticket or something because it's like the week before Christmas and stuff like that. It's mental.
Yeah. So when I looked at flights, it was £1,500 each, and bearing in mind there's four of us, £6,000. Nah.
Yeah, and that's just
for the flights.
That's just flights. Yeah.
And I suppose you've got to rent a car to get wherever you go, and
No. Like, so when we stay there, we stay at her sister's, and then we just use one of our cars because she's got a couple of cars. So
I don't know, but still £6,000 for like. Oh.
And then when you're out there, because when we went out there last time, obviously you want to do things, eat out and that, and we usually go out there for a couple of months. Yeah, it's a lot of money, a lot of spending money,
Well, stuff like that, even if you book tickets, like same to the train, if you book it way in advance, it's usually cheaper.
Yeah, it's not with flights.
Unless it's in the summer holiday or Christmas, then it's just premium. It's like the worst time to go.
Yeah. I know, mate. It's ridiculous.
Never mind.
That's Zoom life, call, mate. Yeah, it's fine, because we've submitted all our paperwork to try and move out there now anyway, so we're just saving all our pennies for that now,
Yeah.
So go and visit Sylvester Almond. And he was saying it was over 30 degrees to today in Aussie, where he is in Perth. Yeah.
Well, it's changed here, isn't it? Like Friday, it was like 22 degrees when I went, and then this morning I got up, it was 2.
I know.
And the car was frozen. I'm like, yep, it just flips over in like 2 days, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
But never mind, us Brits moaning about the weather. What are we like?
Yeah, too right.
Can't we moan about like video games instead?
Yeah, well, let's moan then. Right, so I'm going to start off as I started off last week with Forza Motorsport. I'm guessing neither of you guys have played it?
Yeah, I played it.
Oh, Nick, you've played it. Tell me your thoughts on it, because I didn't realise you'd been playing it.
Yeah, I've only played it for like a couple of hours. I tried it like on the day it came out, or the day after or something. So I was like, oh, it's out now. I didn't know. And it kept crashing to the dashboard during the tutorial. Restarting the tutorial. So I'm like, oh, I'll leave this. And I think it did an update at some point, and I played it again. I think I played it Sunday morning for a couple of hours, picked a Honda Civic Type R.
Yeah, nice.
It's more Forza. I prefer Horizon to the Motorsport. I always have done. And and I'm looking at it, I'm like, and I had to double check that I was actually playing the Series X version and it wasn't like the wrong version, because I thought, this doesn't look as good as what I thought it would.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? For like a proper next gen. Because I remember Forza 7, that looked really good. And, in my head, that, I remember thinking, wow, these are really good graphics and things like that.
Yeah.
But little things like I'm driving about and I'm looking up at the sky and I'm like, those clouds look a little bit pixelated and blurry. And then I realised, which is something I haven't noticed for years, that basically the skybox is kind of like Shenmue. So if I turn around the left-hand corner, the sky turns left, and if I turn around the right-hand corner, it turns right again.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I haven't seen that in a game for years. And then I was watching I think I want to say it was IGN. They did a Forza versus Gran Turismo like comparison using the same track or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Gran Turismo looks a lot better.
So this is the thing, right? And this is what is a little bit shocking to me, right? So I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm going to repeat myself. When the Division was showcased and then it come out, it was a massive downgrade from what it was showcased, and people were up in arms about it.
Yeah, the trailers looks better than this. I thought that doesn't,
So what?
They used high-spec PCs or something.
Well, no, they fuck it. I don't know what they use, because the PC version's fucking awful. It's worse than the console version. I'll get into that in a minute, but it's one of those things that I feel like we've been a little bit missold, like with those Division trailers, because. And even Digital Foundry did a comparison video last week comparing what we were shown gameplay-wise a year ago compared to what's come out. And it's a huge downgrade. Absolutely massive. And even they were saying, that's very naughty. And this is why I feel like all I've done is slag the game off. Even though I am enjoying it, there's just a lot of negativity here. And rightfully so, people have been calling it out online, right? So, missold because of those early gameplay trailers, and then the actual gameplay is nowhere near as good looking. And then people, I've seen screenshots comparing Forza 5.
Yeah.
Right? Forza 5 in the Auto Vista, whatever the fuck it's called, to the cars in this and on their kind of showrooms, and a lot of them look better in Forza 5, which is shocking.
I was thinking this earlier today because I was watching the Spider-Man 2 reviews came out earlier today.
Yeah,
which is cool. And I was watching a Digital Foundry, one of those comparing like Spider-Man, the PS4 one, and then Miles Morales, and then this one. But whereas this one, it's only on PS5. It's not on PS4.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if the reason is they they developed Forza for Series X and possibly S, and that's what they were doing. But they also get it to work on Xbox One, don't they? So I wonder if
is this on the old Xbox? I thought this was next gen only Forza.
No, I think it's cross gen as well. I'm pretty sure.
No, surely not. I'm sure this is only next gen.
I think so, mate. I saw it on my Xbox One X on available today. I'm pretty sure you can get it on the older Xbox.
No,
I might be wrong, but I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure, but I'm just thinking a lot of games recently have had that. Where you get the older gen version and the smart delivery, so it gives you which version. So I just wonder if and it might just be the Series S as well. If it's just holding it back.
See, I don't know. I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. I know people slag off the Series S. However, when you look at PC games running from low to ultra or whatever, there's a massive difference in graphical fidelity between all the different settings on the PC. So, like on a console, they'd be able to do, say, Forza would be like low settings on an S, but high settings on a Series X. So I don't buy that the Series S is really holding it back at all, because they've got the same CPU. It's just the GPU is different. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying like holding it back, like that they couldn't make the Series X version awesome and have the the Series S version a little bit. I just think it's always playing on their mind that we can't push this too hard and use all of the X's capability.
I know what you're saying.
Later on, we may have to force this to work. The same as the Baldur's Gate people said that they can't get some of the features to work on Series S.
Yeah, it was local co-op, wasn't it?
Yeah, just little things like that. I'm not saying that's 100% that's the reason. I'm just saying that's a little bit in their mind, and they're thinking, well, we can't go all out and you know, because normally by now, like 3 years into a console, and then 5,
Has it
you know,
been
the
that
last
long?
few years.
Fucking hell,
Yeah, but they've been
really?
out 3 years now. Yeah,
Wow,
2020.
I feel old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because yeah, that's just what they said on there. So normally now they've really got to grips with the hardware, and we'll start seeing the really awesome games graphic
Yeah.
wise. I mean, you were saying, like you said earlier today about Forza 5, yeah, Webby. I remember seeing when I got my Xbox One, seeing Forza 5 like in game, you know, like in the demo pods, and just seeing that game, and I'm like, that looks so real. You could look at the wing mirrors and the rear view mirror and see the games, and you could see the steering wheel, and you're like,
Yeah.
that car looks like my car, what I had years ago. Obviously, not the the RS Super version, but do you know what I mean? And you know, we turn the steering wheel, and you have that. This is a next gen game. I still haven't had that on this generation yet. Nothing that I thought you could not play this on the last gen. Still waiting for that, and it's kind of annoying because normally I'll buy the console when I see that to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
No,
But
I know what you
what I
mean.
did play of Forza, it was all right. It's just more Forza,
Yeah.
you know. But I prefer Horizon because the actual laps and the stuff like that. I've done that a lot. I mean, what is because. So is this Forza 8? Because I know they've called just
Yes,
Motorsport.
it
Is
is.
it 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're thinking, because you think when this started, what was this? Like, I mean, you probably had 3 or 4 Gran Turismos before you got this one, and Gran Turismo are only up to 7, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if you think of how many Gran Turismo, if Gran Turismo's on 7 and that's on 8, and then you've had all the Horizons in between, so
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I'm
a
just
lot
a
of
little
racing
bit,
games. Yeah.
yeah, maybe I'm just a bit Forza'd out.
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, right, as I mentioned last week, there's a lot I'm disappointed with Forza. The graphics is one, the very poor PC performance, and like I was posted some screenshots in a Discord this week in the racing channel where like literally it's got some weird glitches. Like I was in a race, and then the road disappeared, so I was just racing in thin air. And then in another race, the background all disappeared, so all the spectators were just floating in the air. And I'm just like, this game isn't finished. It's missing loads of tracks. Yeah. It's just not on. And part of me thinks it's because it's Game Pass, and that is what has brought the quality down. Because if this was a 70 quid game, you can guarantee like that people have bought instead of getting on Game Pass, there'd be much more outcry. I really do think that. However, and I don't want to sound like I am bashing it too much, because I've played it for over 40 odd hours now already. So if it was that shit, I wouldn't have been playing it this much, right? So I think the campaign is okay. Like the single player races, they're all right. However, I'm getting a lot of my enjoyment from the online, and that's because it's kind of very similar to the way iRacing sets up the races. So there's no servers anymore that you can make and just open up to randos. It's all, there's a race at say 7 o'clock, 7:20, 7:40 as an example, right? And it'll be a certain car class and a certain track. So everyone jumps on, does some practice laps, does some qualifying, and does a race. And then you have your licenses, so you get a safety rating and a ranking on how good you are. Now, initially, when I first got the game, I was just thinking, I like this, but I wish there was a lobby system. And I do still think that. But you can make private lobbies, which, if you've got a big group of mates, then that's ideal. But, if you don't, then that's a bit shit. So the only other option is this other mode. And I think it lends itself well, I think, to people that don't have a lot of real life friends or people on the friends list that want to play this much. Because, I personally don't know many people that are playing this, to be fair. So, you're still getting that full-on online racing experience with the multiplayer, just jumping on your own. And the races are pretty clean, to be honest, which is really, really good, because obviously it affects your licensing and shit like that. So I think I've only had one race where people have been dicks out of, I don't know, 50 races I've had or something silly. So that is definitely a big positive for this game, to be honest. So, I'm really pleased with that. I think the car leveling system is okay, not great. Only because they're trying to make it feel like an RPG, right? So you've got to get your car up to level 50 so you can do all, so you can add all your other stuff to it. But once you get to level 50, it's kind of like I don't use the car anymore because I think to myself, well, what's the point of using it? Because I'm not leveling it up. So then I'll go and start another car instead. So, you never get to a point, if you're like me, where you use all the upgrades on the car because you just think, well, it's pointless driving it. I'm going to upgrade a different car instead. So I think it's like they're trying to artificially make people play the game for longer, if that makes sense, just by doing this.
So you have to upgrade that car to get... Because normally you just, save up money to buy a new car, but it's like they're making you upgrade that one to get enough stuff to then get another car. So it's like...
No. So the cars, so you get... So pretty much cars are quite cheap, so basically you earn money by doing the races, and literally that money is only used for buying cars, right? The leveling system, when you're leveling up a car, that's when you can unlock more parts for that car, and the currency that's used for that is your XP. Yeah. So
it's kind of like in Horizon, but instead of you used to get the perks for the car, like one extra hit doesn't break your chain, or extra stuff. So instead of that, it's just gone on parts rather than perks.
Yeah, so you get your parts, and then you can tune them up. However, online, it makes everyone's car the same, from what I've noticed anyway. So if you're playing online, it doesn't really matter anyway.
Yeah, well, that always happens.
Apart from, there's the rivals mode where there's races on there where was time trial, and you can use any car you want within the A class and tune it how you want with parts and stuff. So that's when you use that kind of system, if that makes sense. So that's the only mode I've seen it on.
Yeah, I just double checked, Webby. Motorsport, that isn't. Well, that is, but that isn't on the older Xboxes.
I didn't think it was.
But it's only on there as you can stream it through the cloud. So that's why it's on the thing. That's why I saw it. I thought, you could play, but it's only cloud. It's cloud only. You can't install it. So that's why I got confused. So yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's fine.
I suppose it's there, and if you had gigabit internet, you might actually notice that it might not look like you're streaming crap.
Yeah. So I do think underneath the hood there is a good game there, right? I really do. But this is what's frustrating me about modern gaming, and I don't want to sound like a moany old man, but I'm gonna. They don't bring out games that are finished anymore.
Oh.
This is a game as a service. So they've already announced that every month they're going to be bringing out a track a month, and they're going to be bringing out more cars and stuff.
I think they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, and the reason this hasn't been numbered is because this is going to be, from what I can tell, a Forza as a service. So this is going to be the only Forza, platform service. So this is going to be the only Forza for years now, and they're just going to keep on iterating this one and adding more content.
Okay. That's understandable when you get so many games, like we said before. Cyberpunk, oh, all you lot were mean picking on Cyberpunk. It's working now. Yeah, 3 years ago it wasn't on last gen consoles, and they're praising these companies for patching games and actually having them working. Years later, and now that's like I said, it's becoming the norm, innit?
Yep, it is, and and it's frustrating because I expect a game to be working as it should be on launch, and it's very rare these days to get a game like that.
There's a lot of them, but they're all the companies are doing it now and getting away with it. Some people are doing. I mean, I saw today there's a thing about Street Fighter 6. They're practically giving that away now. They're down to like 20, 25 quid.
Bloody hell!
Because it's sold really poorly. Because people know what's the point of buying this one? There'll be like a championship edition next year and an ultimate edition the year after, and that'll have like 80 quid's worth of season passes and DLCs all on top of it. So if they buy it all now, it's going to cost them, like 120, 150 quid, or they can just buy it in 3 years' time and all the stuff is there.
Yeah.
People eventually learn, don't they?
Yeah, and it's just how gaming is now, and I'm not going to try and defend it because I think it's it's awful.
Defend it. It's just eventually it's going to bite them in the arse. Whereas, like I said, people aren't buying games on launch anymore. They're waiting for them to go down in price to be patched, and it's kind of it's their own doing.
Yeah,
and then some of the developers, like the Cyberpunk, the CD Projekt Red, some of those, it wasn't us, it's the horrible corporate executives that forced us to release it. And I was like, well, I get that, but you're still part of the corporation, you're still part of the thing.
Yeah. I just, and I, let me get my words out. I love Game Pass. It's great because it saves me money. Gaming is my one and only hobby. I don't do anything else, right? I don't spend money down the pub. I don't spend money on myself on anything else apart from gaming. It is my passion, right? However, I'm never really been in the financial situation where I can just go out and buy every fucking game on launch day because, 50, 60, 70 quid is a lot of money at the end of the day when you've got kids and shit like that, right? So, before we had Game Pass, as many of you know, been listening, I used to rent my games through Boomerang Rentals for many years, right? That's how I could afford my hobby. And now, obviously, Game Pass is here. It's been here for a good many years now, and that's been kind of my main source of gaming. However, with the rise of Game Pass, and I'm sad to say, the quality of games, in my opinion, has gone downhill. More and more games, especially games that launch day one on Game Pass, are a buggy mess. And it's just frustrating the fuck out of me. Because
it's almost like what Jim Ryan said about when he was asked about, how come you don't stick your own exclusive games onto PlayStation Plus not essential, whatever it is.
The top tier gold or whatever,
version of Game Pass or whatever. He said if we did that, the games would suffer.
Yeah, and he's right, because you look at all the big names of Xbox, Halo, Gears, Forza, to name three of them, have all gone downhill massively since Game Pass. I mean, obviously with Halo,
Gears 4 and Gears 5, I think were around before Game Pass was a thing anyway. To be honest, same with Halo 5.
Yeah, I think 5 was the first one that was on Game Pass, and that was not very good.
No, it wasn't. So I hate to say it, I really do, because I like Xbox has been my go-to console since 2002. Yeah. Or 2003, whenever the original Xbox come out, and it's a system that I've always been passionate about, and Halo has been my most passionate game, and I've always loved the Forza games. I mean, I've got really good memories of some really amazing gamer nights with the community on the old Forza games, and we never moaned about any of these games. We just jumped on and enjoyed them, right? And now and the fact we're not moaning about the games now because we're old and grumpy. It's because the quality has gone downhill. It really has.
It's not necessarily the quality. It's more along the lines of like functionality and the options we had in games previous, like missing game modes.
Yeah.
Like completely omitted sections that used to exist in the game, etc. I mean, the graphics for games now, I haven't really got any issue with whatsoever. They've reached that point where it's very rare I even see like a bad-looking game these days.
Yeah.
I think it's like the Netflix to movies thing. You'll pay however £12 a month for Netflix, and you'll watch a few movies. I think mine's gone up to 16 now because there's like 3 or 4 people watching it.
Oh, because I had the 4K one, it was like £18 a month. But
that's what I'm paying now. I tried to get away with it, but when I tried to watch something with Vanya and then my sister's watching it at the same time, it comes up, oh, this person's watching this. So if you want to watch 3 screens at once, you have to have the higher one. So I was like, fine, whatever. But what I'm saying is, like, if I go to the cinema and I've paid money, and I'm invested, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the film, it'll have to be an atrocious film that offends me on a biblical level for me to walk out.
Yeah.
However, if I'm watching something on Netflix and I get half an hour into it and think this is absolute garbage, I don't care if I turn it off. Do you see what I mean? But they're getting my money every month, whereas I think that's a similar type of thing. Whereas if we pay the money for the game, we wouldn't allow that type of crap. But because it's on Game Pass and Xbox are already generating the money through us and probably a lot of parents that are getting it for their kids, just to, I'm not buying you a new game from Game. You've got Game Pass, get on with it. So they're paying that every month. They've got the money, so why would they care if the quality of the game is bad? They've already got your money. And they'll get your money next month, and they'll get your money the month after. Yeah. And then 6 months later, they'll have people praising it and saying, oh, ain't they done a good job? They've added multiplayer to Halo. And it's like, really? You know what I mean? They've added guns to Halo, and you think, oh, all right. Didn't Halo 1 have? Do you know what I mean? It's just, and that's what I'm saying. I know a lot of the lads I work with in their like mid-20s, and they were like, when I started work, they were like, well, they have to have DLC because how else do they make money from games? I was like, you buy the game?
Yeah, by selling the game.
Yeah, but that's the next generation. They're going to think this is, and the generations now, they're going to think that's the norm.
Yeah.
They're just going to think that's normal. And everything's going to be digital, so they can't sell it. So the game will just stay on their hard drives.
And let's not forget one thing, the music industry gone downhill since it's gone digital. The film industry gone downhill since it's gone digital. And now we're entering the era of digital games. And as you've just said, they're going downhill.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to put in as much effort anymore. Especially when it obviously comes to something that's in a subscription service. They've already got your money. I don't give a fuck.
I just think eventually when probably next gen or whatever, where Xbox and PlayStation go completely digital, and it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo did it as well, that someone else comes along.
For the next Nintendo won't for their next system. That'll probably be the last bastion.
But I just think someone else will come along and say, we're not doing digital, we're going to keep physical media. And people are going to be nostalgic for it, and they'll buy all these licenses for these older games that people have wanted for years, and they're going to hit us nostalgically with, proper discs and, bring back manuals and things like that. And they'll come along and they'll just take a huge chunk out of the market because whether they say about PlayStation or Xbox, they're never too. Sega thought they were too big to fail. People talk about it. Nintendo, if the Wii wasn't a fluky success it was, they were on the verge of going under as well. Microsoft offered to buy them out because they knew they were on the verge of going under, and if the Wii didn't succeed, Microsoft would have bought them out.
Yeah.
The offer was on the table that if that would have failed like the GameCube or worse, they'd have bought them. But they got lucky, so they're not too big to fail. Sony could, one big mistake, they could just ruin it for everyone.
The thing that Sony have got for them, and they're doing it right, is their single-player games always launch day one with no problems, and they're pretty much all highly rated. You look at the new Spider-Man that's out this week, and the reviews are already coming out 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
they always do those premium experiences for their single-player games.
But now I want it. I don't need it. I don't want it. I just played Miles Morales. I looked at the trailers and I was like, want it. I want to be like, Squirrel Suit Spider-Man now. I want to do that.
Is this the very first PS5 kind of first-party studio game that's actually PS5 only? I don't think there's a PS4 version of it, is there?
No, there isn't.
It's only PS5. Well, they did Before this. They did Ratchet and Clank, which was
Miles
Morales was both, but this Ratchet and Clank was only, and this one's only. But
because Miles Morales, Horizon, and that were all cross-gen, weren't they? Although they didn't want to be, but obviously the hardware issues caused by COVID slowed down sales and stuff. So.
But yeah, I mean, that's something that PlayStation does have over Xbox, is their single-player exclusive games are just way superior in quality. And that's why they can sell them for 70 quid. Because people are like, well, I know I'm going to be getting a good game, so they buy them. That's why they sell, yeah?
Yeah, so final thoughts on Forza Motorsport is we want Spider-Man 2 on PS5.
Well, I'm not that bothered about it, but I'll wait for it, the PC version. But it looks good, man. It does look good. And it's just, like, just going back to Forza, it's just why can't Microsoft just bring out a game that fucking works on launch anymore? It just really pisses me off. Really does.
It gets me more than anything, rather than I saw there's a bit on there like the developers saying, "Oh, we know we've had a bit of a buggy start, especially on on PC, but we're going to work on it." All you hear is, "Oh, all the games are buggy and broken, and everyone's mad online. Look how many Game Pass subscribers we've got. We're winning, suckers." And that's what they say, don't they? They don't say suckers at the end, but that's pretty much what they're doing. They're saying, "We got your money anyway. Who gives a shit?" You would think they would come out and say, this is not good. We need to work on it and admit it, but they don't.
Going back to it, obviously as well, it was only recently, wasn't it, that they kind of started dropping support for the older Xbox Ones.
Yeah.
Like the Xbox One, the One X, and the One S, etc. So originally they were making games for these, like, all these different powered systems. And then you throw the PC into the mix as well, which has got a ton of different graphics cards and drivers and all this kind of stuff that you've got to make sure everything works properly on. That's a lot to take on. And then you look at Sony, where it's like, we've got a PS4 and the PS5. Basically, that's almost pretty much it. Because even though you've got the digital PS5, it's just literally that, a digital PS5. It's not like a less powerful version.
Yeah,
it's the same system. And when they do put games onto the PC, eventually, they've been out for years and they've been given plenty of time to work on the port for it. And even obviously sometimes they fuck that up with things like Last of Us, etc.
Oh, they still take the piss, like when they release PS5 versions of The Last of Us Part 1, and now they're bringing out, which is, I don't know if it's official, but it leaks that they're doing Part 2 again. I don't know if it's official, because you hear the leaks, and then you sort of ignore the official thing. I was like, well, surely that could just be a free update, but obviously they don't want to, because they know they could sell it again. And if that's what they want to do, you can't really knock them, can you?
Well, again, it's probably due to the fact that they're eventually going to want to put The Last of Us 2 on PC as well.
Yeah.
and they're going to want a slightly better version of the game, and they're probably hoping to cash in on all of the what's it from the next series of the TV show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Etc.
Yeah,
but
they'll release it at the same time as season 2 starts, won't they? To get on the hype.
I'm actually interested to know how, if they play it out like they played the game, is the TV show going to like have a massive drop off after the first episode or two?
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Especially when you've got The Rock playing Abby.
Have they said who's playing Abby?
I don't think so. I think they've obviously the joke memes and things like that when they said that, but I don't know.
It's Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump.
I mean, I'd watch it.
Yeah, I mean that. To be honest, that was the least of the troubles I had with that game. Like, to be honest,
I liked Last of Us 2. I thought it was all right.
One of the worst Sony exclusives ever made.
I mean,
it's literally watching a company disappear up its own arse and self-destruct.
Well, yeah,
they used to be one of my most beloved developers, and then like after that, I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well,
graphically is fantastic and everything, but everything else,
it
awful.
Didn't need a sequel, did it?
No.
They just told a complete different story. They were never going to keep everyone happy. We could talk, spoil. We knew they were going to kill Joel. How they did it was pathetic and stupid, and people wanted to see Joel and Ellie, and then they chucked another character in for the sake of it. So it kind of, they did kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2, where everyone wanted to play as like Solid Snake, and then you did for a little while. All of a sudden, Raiden turned up. So who is this blonde prick? Do you know what I mean? It's just they weren't ever going to keep anyone happy, but I think story-wise, they could have done a little better.
There's not keeping everyone happy, and then there's technically taking something that everyone loved, putting it out in the middle of the garden, getting everyone round to watch while they set fire to it, and then urinate on it, and then expect everyone to go, that's amazing, and just clap. I don't know, it's just baffling, absolutely baffling.
Well, it baffles me how it gets such high praise, yet Days Gone, which is a vastly superior game, is not, Ran
out of petrol, mate. Ran out of petrol.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why obviously there's rumours of a Last of Us Part 2, so they can like rinse it out of the PC and stuff as well. But then again, there's probably a lot of people that played the original one on PC that are going to be like, I'm going to give this a couple of weeks to see what the port's actually like first.
Yeah.
Because the port of the first one was pretty much what's it.
Well, you look at, you go back to Forza, right? And I know, like, we talked about the shortcomings, but the reviews of the PC version on Steam are bloody awful, mate. Like, it's in mostly negative as an overall.
I thought Forza on the PC would be like benchmark territory sort of a thing.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but it's just not optimised at all. It's fucking awful.
It was the same with Horizon 5, wasn't it, Webby?
Yep.
That had a lot of crashes and stuff like that.
Actually, you played it on your X, didn't you, in the end? Because you got pissed off with it on the PC, didn't you?
I did as well. I think it was so bad, I installed the app so I could even play on Xbox games on my laptop.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's a Microsoft game, and they can't fucking make their games work on the console, on the PC. You know what I mean?
It's not just the games working, mate. The launcher is terrible as well.
Yeah, it's shite.
Keeps crashing.
Yeah.
How many eyes do you think are going to be on Hellblade 2 after this?
Mate, I didn't even enjoy the first one, to be honest. So,
to be honest, that got praise that didn't deserve. I
thought it was good.
It was good for what it was, a good little indie game, but people were talking about it. It was like the second coming of Messiah and all that sort of stuff. I was like, no, it was a good little indie game with nice mechanics and good visuals and a nice message. It's like when everyone lost their shit over Journey and said it's like the greatest game ever made, 10 out of 10, and you play it and you're like, seriously?
See, I really enjoyed Journey, but it is very artsy fartsy. Whereas Hellblade, I don't know. There just wasn't a lot of game there that I enjoyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I only played that this year.
But yeah, if you do certain things in certain games, like tick certain boxes, or your game has some sort of like social message or whatever, that generally will win you more praise with the critics.
Well, yeah, that's like you get Oscar bait movies, don't you?
Yeah,
do really well at the Oscars, sort of thing, and you watch them, and it's like, oh, it's got loads of message, it's a diverse cast and stuff like that, but actually, it's a shitty movie. But you can't not like it because they said you have to save the kids from AIDS and murderers, and we all have to agree on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that is something we can agree on.
Yeah, save the kids from AIDS and murderers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was.
I'm all for that.
I'm pretty sure that was the plot for Slumdog Millionaire, right?
I've never seen that film actually.
No, I watched it this year when we were in Wales. I thought this movie is not what I thought it was at all. So, plus I had nice pizza, so I remember the pizza better than the film. But anyway. Are we still talking about Forza?
Yeah, so lastly, I just want to say, obviously, with the bad PC reviews, apparently Microsoft, because Microsoft had their own review section on their games on the console and PC, if you've noticed, on the digital games, and apparently because of all the negative reviews for Forza, apparently Microsoft have been removing all the negative reviews, which is pretty poor, I think.
I look forward to a day when a games company puts out a game, and as long as they know that the game works properly and that fans of that franchise and of that genre of game are going to love it regardless, for them not to give a flying fuck what companies give it for review scores, or to not even care about reviews and all of that kind of stuff. But even so, you can get... Because we've said it before, even with the user reviews, you get kosher ones, but you'll also get people that are all basically just
pricks,
troll reviews, because it's like, oh, this is exclusive to this system, so I'm gonna fucking give it a shitty review and like tank the overall percentage and all the rest of it, because all those numbers and stats really matter when they actually fucking don't, particularly. I mean, they matter to a small selection of people, etc. I mean, I even saw it today when, we saw it with Starfield, people going, ooh, the review scores for that, and then I've seen it today again for, Spider-Man and that, and it's just who fucking cares?
Yeah.
If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And no one literally used to care like that back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
People just used to come together and celebrate and enjoy a game without another group of people turning up and going,
oh, that's the internet for you, mate. Yeah.
And if those people are going, then if you still love the game and everything, fine, enjoy it, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from Forza. Let's just say, we're disappointed, but it's still fun. So that's pretty much the same message from last week. But I'm glad Nick has played it, and Darren, I'd like you to play it too.
No, I'm all right, mate.
Okay.
I haven't played a Forza game since... What was the one where they added Top Gear?
Oh, fuck me. Can't remember now.
Might have been 4, yeah. I haven't bought any Forza... any traditional Forza games since the Xbox One.
Right.
Well, that was 360. It would have been Forza 4.
All right, anyway, let's move on from Forza. So, Nick, talk to me.
Right. I played this really good game. You might have heard of it, Webby. It's called Final Fantasy VII.
Remake or original?
Original. And I mean
shizzle my nizzle.
And I mean original. Like
excellent.
Steam, not even the HD. Because well, it won't be HD. Basically, it's the Steam version, and you should do this, Webby, because you're going to love this.
You're doing the mods, yeah.
Yep. Basically, I've downloaded the what they call it's the Seventh Heaven mod.
Yeah.
Basically, you install it from Steam like you would normal, and then you install on the website, which is Echo 7S or whatever it's called. It's basically you just download another launcher, download the mods, and then you drag and drop the mods into the launcher, and it updates it. And you click play Final Fantasy, and it comes on just like normal. And you're like, well, that's weird. There's loads of different, like stuff at the start, and the music's slightly different. Yeah. And then you start up the game, and the music's slightly remixed. Not all of it, but a lot of it's like slightly up-res, better quality music.
Yeah.
And then so you start playing it, and then Barrett starts talking, and then you hear his voice. They have a voice acting to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And I was just thinking, why have Square not done this themselves? Of all the updates and stuff, and they go, oh, that's not what the original people intended it to do, not to have voice acting. Well, no, because when they got to Final Fantasy X and they could have voice acting, they did. It's just the technology wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's actually pretty good. I don't know, have you tried this one?
Yeah, I did it years ago, mate. Yeah, it's cool because it changes the characters and everything.
Well, it changes, the animations and stuff. Yeah. Like when you're fighting, like Cloud swings his sword, and you actually hear him like grunt and stuff, and they've like replaced some of the textures of the swords and the guns and things like that. But I think this is like the first official finished everything.
Oh, brilliant!
You see what I mean? So it's done.
Because it's been in development for years.
Yeah, they've been recording it for years because it's basically a fan project. There's no money involved, so that's how they can get away. I don't even know if there's any kind of donate thing on the website. I don't think there is, because I think even if they put a donation thing, they could get done.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's some way you can support them. It'd be nice if you could. But one of my mates who I know who stream, he's done some of the voice acting for it as well. And he was streaming it. So I was watching it, like watching, when I was working nights, and I was like, hang on, they got voice acting. And he just told me what it was, and I just I think I bought it on Steam. I think it was like £6 or whatever it was installed. It's really, if I can do it, it's really easy.
Yeah.
And it's just like a whole nother way to play the game.
Yeah.
And if you always hear that people like mod these games, and then the company hire them and get them to release the mod and work with them. I just don't know why they wouldn't do that. Probably
because they're a Japanese company and they're a bit backwards on stuff like that.
Yeah, things like that. But yeah, I think I don't know how much of it you did years ago, Webby. But you could, if you were going to play, if I was going to play through this again, the original, that's how I would do it from now on.
Yeah, because that's awesome, mate. No, it's good to hear.
Yeah, I've done the HD one on like PS4, and I've got it digitally for like the Vita, the PSP, and the PS3. I've still got my 7 discs, on PS1.
Yeah.
So I've got pretty much, I've played it so many times because it's nice to play it handheld because that's like a different experience. But, to bang voice acting in as well.
Yeah, that's really good. The
patch is only about 6 or 7 gig.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
But it's just like, I suppose you were the same as me, Webby, growing up, because I never really noticed it. Like Jessie at the start, she was a girl. You obviously know it in the remake, but because of the pixels were just like little puppets, a lot of people didn't know that she was actually a girl.
Oh, right.
Playing through it when we were growing up, because I don't think that's ever mentioned that she's actually a female.
Right, well, if someone's called Jessie, I'm going to think they're a girl. I know there's boys called Jessie, but...
Yeah, but I think it's like Jessie with an I is the girl, Jessie double E is a boy or something, but then that can be... I've got a girl's name as well, apparently, so, I can't really say much, but yeah, it's really good. I think if you have a fancy playing the original again, Webby, definitely go for that.
Oh, yeah, nice one, mate. Yeah, that's really good to know that. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I only played it for about 3 or 4 hours, but I don't. I mean, maybe it did, but I don't think it had any of like the click the sticks in for no fights and stuff like that. I don't think it had any of that stuff in. At least I don't think
Right,
it did.
okay.
But then I was doing something kind of naughty. I was playing it with a Sega Saturn controller.
Oh, okay.
So I'm playing like a PS1 game like that with a set because it was. I think it was gonna go on then 64, and then they were talking about doing a Saturn port as well, weren't they? At some point, and then I think Sony signed up like exclusive deals for like 8 and stuff, 8 and 9, and I want to say Tactics as well. I think that was the PS1 3, wasn't it? Where like what was it? Tomb Raider, Resident Evil 1, Final Fantasy 7. I'm pretty sure the others they signed up like all these games for like 3 exclusive games. So they had like Tomb Raider 2, 3, and 4, and then what was it? Resi 2, 3, and Survivor. And there's a few games like that, and I'm pretty sure they did 7, 8, 9. No, 8, 9, and Tactics that were exclusive as well.
Right, okay.
That's why they didn't go on the other consoles. Which that's a good job we don't have games like Final Fantasy only exclusive to PlayStation now, isn't it?
Wow. Final Fantasy 7 remakes are PlayStation exclusive, aren't they? Really? They're not. They're never coming to Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, I was joking.
You were joking. Yeah.
I was joking, but it wasn't funny. That was
no, it wasn't funny because it upsets me.
Oh, but you've got a PlayStation, so why do you care?
Because it's pretty much the only reason I still have a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that's why they've done it, because obviously they've got a seller there, haven't they?
And I know there's no way, and it's not me slagging off PlayStation because I do think it's a good system. It's just now I just don't have my time is not as I don't have as much as I used to. So something's got to give, and the PlayStation is the system that gives because I don't want to pay Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't pay for Nintendo Online either. I literally just have Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and that's it now. That's literally my only gaming subscription. So,
yeah. Go back to playing retro games, Webby.
Just the time is because there's a lot of new games out. I don't know. I'll be talking about what I've been playing as we go along, but I don't know. Single player wise, I'm just not feeling anything at the minute. That's just how I am at the moment. But yeah, things will change, I'm sure. Are we moving on to Darren now?
Yeah, let him talk. He ain't said nothing for a long while.
He's probably fallen asleep talking about Forza all that time.
I'm still here. I'm speeding up a car at the moment. On Street
Fighter 2.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6. When you talked about it, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't logged in this week and seen what the challenges are. Even though I finished the latest battle pass and stuff on it.
Doing his weeklies.
Yeah. No, you basically earned stuff for the battle pass, but I completed it like a while back.
Nice.
So, yeah. I'll talk about another game that I played a bit over the weekend, and the new update for it is, as far as I know, it's tomorrow, which is like the Season of Blood update.
Diablo, yeah.
Diablo 4, yeah. So I stuck it on at the weekend, half expecting for them to have done like a XP boost event and everything. Nah, they didn't bother. But there seemed to be quite a few people playing it, and I was literally trying to push my Necromancer into like Torment difficulty. So I basically sat there at the weekend and did that. And all I can say is I'm so glad I had a minion build, because I'd have probably been iced a few times if it wasn't for my minions basically protecting the shit out of me. In that. So yeah, ran that. Also unlocked and did like one of the ancestral dungeons, obviously, if you know, in Torment, and the one before you start getting sacred items, and in Torment you get ancestral items, which are basically the same as sacred items, except the little graphic on the items a bit more wavy. There's some animation to it. just to let you know it's a bit more special. And it obviously allows you to increase your stats and stuff a lot higher. But yeah, there's huge balances and changes coming with tomorrow's update. So like resistances and that are supposed to be working properly. And a lot of moves are getting increases. They're moving away from like the whole vulnerable crit sort of like meta.
Right.
Which is what a lot of people were running, to be frank, and now they're trying to do it so everything's kind of a bit more viable because they don't like the fact that everyone generally seems to run one type of a class, you know what I mean? Even though that is bullshit, because depending on how you've built your class and depending on how you've put your stuff into the Paragon nodes, you can have like different varieties of builds that are pretty viable anyway. It's just there always seems to be one that a lot of people go for.
Yeah. I did see something quite interesting today, Dan, actually. Apparently the new trailer they put out there to take it down because they got something wrong about the new season and people pointing it out. Yeah, and that's how to pull it down. So I thought that was quite funny.
On the 17th? I think it is the 17th.
It's tomorrow, yeah, because I literally just logged on before the podcast because I thought it was out today and I wanted to check, but it's tomorrow. Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, there hasn't been an update for it yet and everything, and I was kind of wondering when that's going to be, because I think they're just planning from rolling in from that season into the next one. So if it's like the previous season, I think it's going to go live around between 4 and 6 o'clock UK time.
I'm just quite, you know, because I didn't play any of the last season. I didn't like the idea of making another character, but I think I might do it for the next one because it's been a while since I played it now.
I'm just using different classes per season for each season. I used Barbarian for obviously my initial run through the game. And then obviously this season I've used Necromancer. And I think I'm probably going to try Rogue for the new one. The new season,
and then
probably
good.
by the time another couple of ones roll along, they'll probably have introduced and like added Crusader and etc. to the game.
Yeah, that'd be good
because they have to have Crusader because they're in the game. Like if you actually go into the southern area of the map, there's Crusaders there, and they talk about the order and everything. But yet they're not a playable class. So there technically isn't really your traditional sword and shield class in the game yet.
Yeah. I'm quite interested to see where they go with the game, because obviously there's been quite a long time gap between 3 and 4, because they generally keep a big gap between the games. And also...
it's been pretty big, wasn't it? Because Diablo 3 came out...
It was on the 360, wasn't it?
8 years ago or something?
Yeah.
It was like 360, PS4, Xbox One as well.
Yeah.
Because it had like the Reaper of Souls, didn't it? And it included that content.
Yeah.
So they'll keep at it.
So also with the news this week that the buyout of Activision has actually happened now properly by Microsoft, because the UK decided to allow
regulator,
it. Yeah. Now obviously Microsoft now own Diablo, so I'd be interested to see if they give any perks to Game Pass subscribers on Diablo, or if it actually goes into Game Pass. It
will eventually go on Game Pass. Like, this is what a bloke at work, he wanted to play the game, but he doesn't want to pay 70 quid for an always online live service.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, now that obviously they've been bought out, he's like, excellent, I'll just wait a few months and hopefully it'll end up eventually on Game Pass. I said it will do eventually, but yeah, it will probably be in another season or so.
Yeah, it won't be till next year.
Before that actually happens, yeah. But he said, no, that's fair enough.
Well, I'm just hoping that they give it like perks to Game Pass subscribers, like you don't have to buy the season pass or something if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber or something like that. That'd be quite good.
Well, if you're getting the game for free, then
I've already bought it, so
you've technically you get in the game for free, so they like making their money back on the microtransactions, because I'm pretty sure all of the DLC for all the Microsoft first parties aren't free, are they, to Game Pass?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of games where they do give you stuff if you're a Game Pass subscriber. Yeah. Well, not discount, like extra stuff in games, you know. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm interested.
So yeah, I enjoyed what I played anyway.
Good.
So it got through a few bits and bobs. Like I say, I was mainly just using my build before it crumbles to ash, because I'm pretty sure that most of the good stuff I've got on my Necromancer, it's like affixes that are just timed to that season.
Yeah, so when I went on earlier, it said that like after tomorrow, like your character in the seasonal one will go into the internal realm, and all the gear and all that will go in your box or something.
Yeah, into a stash you have to take out by the end of the season, or it gets deleted.
Yeah,
which is fine, because I imagine all of your stuff from obviously this season coming will go into the box at the end of that season, so that's why they'd empty it out.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So yeah, improvements are coming. It's just a shame that some of them should have been in there from launch.
Yeah.
Like having gems and all of that lot take up backpack space when you don't have a lot in as it is anyway, etc.
Yeah. Cool, man. Is it me again, is it?
It is indeed.
Oh, I'm going to bore the fuck out of everyone for a bit then. Not for long, because obviously I've been into my racing games. iRacing, been playing that quite a bit last week. So usually iRacing is $15 a month. I got a year for 25 quid on this deal that was on UK Hot Deals, and it came with an F4 car. But the thing is, you can't use the F4 car until you get a better license. So all week I was doing the Mazda MX-5, the Formula V and Formula 6 1600 races, which are like very slow formula cars, but a lot of fun.
Are they the Mushroom Cup of iRacing?
Kind of, yeah. But I managed to get my license up on Thursday, so now I can race in the F4. And fuck me, it's hard, really hard, because there's no ABS or anything like that, like a proper F1 cars are. Like none of them have any assists at all. So it's like learning how to not to slam your brakes on, because you'll just lock up and stuff like that. It's just quite a steep learning curve, but very enjoyable. I've been really enjoying playing the iRacing this past week or two, just because I've been in that mode. I've got a wheel mod for the Logitech G923. It's called the MVH. Is the brand. So I've got an F1 wheel on my Logitech now instead of a round one. So it just has a different feel. It just makes it feel a little bit more realistic. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it, because obviously people have to pay for quite a lot for the game and bits and pieces. It's all normally very clean racing, and people take it very serious. So it's if you want that, it's good. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's a good game, and I've been really enjoying it. So
is that the game that the drivers train themselves on and stuff?
Yes, yeah, it is.
It is, right.
Yeah, it's the sim.
I was having a conversation with someone in chat the other day, and I couldn't remember the name of the game, and he said, "Oh, there's a certain PC game that all the racers like train themselves on and stuff."
Yeah, it's iRacing, yeah, because it is the most realistic game for feel of the cars. Yeah, so that's why everyone likes to use that one, and it's the only one where you get
charges a fee as well.
Yeah, but it's the only one where you get really good multiplayer as well, because all other games are like lobby systems and shit, whereas this is right. You've got a race at, there's like, so the Mazdas, as an example, they do a race on the hour every hour. So you'll normally
say the same thing about Forza. Was it Forza that has that as well now?
Yeah. So you jump in, you do spend a lot of time practicing, and then you have a qualified, and then you do your race. But iRacing's the only game I play where when you're on the grid, waiting for that green light, I get really nervous. I get really sweaty palms, and because it's like if you get crashed out, it's your race over because you get real life world damage on your car. So, and then it affects your license. Do you
remember Ayrton Senna on the Mega Drive?
No, I never played it.
One wrong turn and your wheel just comes straight off. That's it, race over.
So
this is a video game. Where's my redo?
Yeah, but also affects your licenses. You see, so if you're a dickhead driver, your safety rating goes down, and if it drops down loads, you can actually lose your licenses as well, and you have to work for it back again. So there is incentives to race cleanly. You see, so yeah.
Which is good, especially obviously if real drivers use it as a training tool, then you're going to want to be in like real world racing situations rather than a demolition derby.
That's right. Yeah. Whereas on Forza, it's not as serious. I mean, I talk about a lot of the races are clean. I'm in a race at the minute where someone's wiped me out on purpose, so it still happens. So, there's that. And I just want to talk about another racing game quickly, so I can move on to other games further on down the line. Project Cars 3. Now, I know it's quite an old game and it's not super realistic, but it's very much like Forza, if that makes sense. It's SimCady, and I've been playing it just purely on my Steam Deck because I wanted to play a racing game on the Steam Deck just to feel that itch when I'm on the sofa, and it actually translates very well. It looks and runs amazing on the deck, and it feels great, and I'm enjoying it because I know sim people are Project Cars 3 shit, and as a sim game it is, because Project Cars 2 was kind of a pinnacle on PC with the wheel, and it kind of went more arcadey with 3, but on a controller, just playing it on the Steam Deck, it's quite, I don't know, it's quite chilled out really. I can do a couple of races and turn it off, so yeah, that's scratching my itch on the Steam Deck. So, yeah, those are my racing games. So back to Nick.
Yeah, so after playing Final Fantasy VII, I did end up playing Final Fantasy VII Remake for a bit as well.
Nice.
But because my mate said, because you can get a free upgrade on PS5, can't you?
Yeah, that's right.
But I couldn't work out why it wouldn't recognise my save. So I was speaking to mate. That was a bit of a
separate saves, I think, isn't it? Or do you have to?
It's typical Square Enix bullshit. You've got to upload their save to their cloud or their website.
No, even worse. Even worse, mate. Basically, I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4. I had 2 discs, yeah. So you had to use both discs and install the PS4 version from both discs and update it, and then install the PS5 version using both discs, put it in, take disc out, put the second disc in, update that, which is an even bigger update. Then you have to launch the PS4 version, and then go into the thing, where your saves are, and press a button and upload the save to somewhere. And then you have to come out of that, launch the PS5 version, and then go in there and click download the save. So you had to basically install both versions, and it took ages, so I had to install the game pretty much twice to get it on, because I want to play it again through. I don't know if I'd play the whole game, possibly, because you can do New Game Plus, but you just have to you just click start from chapter 1 from your save, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
But you keep all your stuff, so you're over leveled and have fun. So that's what I just wanted to get that ready, because I want, in my mind, I want to play that again before Remake Part 2 comes out next year.
Yeah. So that's why I downloaded it on the PC about 3 or 4 weeks ago, because I wanted to replay it before the new one's out. But I'm in no rush. I'm taking my time with it.
Yeah.
But the good thing about the PC version is the mods. So you can have Tifa in a sexy purple dress for the whole game instead of just at that one scene.
You pervert.
I know. I can't help it.
Can you send me a link?
Sure. So that's what I've. So that's one of the. That's pretty much the only reason why I got it on PC, just so I could mod it to have the girls in sexy outfits.
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, years ago they'd have sold it to you for DLC, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's it.
But I loaded it all up and I thought, well, as I'd spent probably I left it. Plus, I left it overnight. The PlayStation in standby mode with the big orange light on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to it the next day. I thought, well, obviously everything will be installed. Nothing installed.
Ugh.
So I don't know if there's a setting which I haven't got a setting to another setting. Because normally with the Series X, even if I turn it off, you could still hear it downloading from the disc. But maybe the disc doesn't spin in that mode, or there's a setting I've turned off somewhere. So I don't very often like to leave my PlayStation in that because I don't play it as often as my Xbox. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Save electric and all that. But yeah, I must have played through the first hour or so, and yeah, it's fun. It plays and looks how I remember it looking.
Yeah.
But I think all I remember was the load times are a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, plus I'm tempted to get. Did you ever play the Yuffie DLC?
Yes, it was really good.
Yeah, because you have to pay extra for that though, don't you? Unless you buy. Did you get the free upgrade? Or did you just buy it again on PS5?
No, I just did the upgrade.
Yeah, because I was tempted to buy but even now it's still hard to get the game for less than 40, 50 quid.
I know.
On the PS5 version. I think it did go on sale at one stage to 25, but I think the DLC's about 16, 17 quid or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
going sale a fair bit.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's a lot of money. But then, as I wrote, the DLC, someone told me it's not. I thought it was the whole, Yuffie section from the game.
No, it's new. It's new stuff.
It's completely new stuff, and it's before she is it. So it's before she meets the normal people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the same thing for Vincent in the next game, don't you?
More than likely.
Hide him behind DLC, then add it, but I don't. But yeah, that was nice. I like that game. That's I think that's the nostalgia and playing the old games, even the remake. With the characters we know and like, but it was just a bit more of a pain, to get the save. Because also I had to turn to get all my saves from my PS4 to my PS5 because I haven't got pay extra for cloud saves because Xbox do that for nothing. Yeah. So I had to turn my PS4 on, hook it up to Wi-Fi, then find it on the PS5 and send it all through Wi-Fi, which took ages.
Yeah.
But, so even though it was on there, I had to install the PS4 version to even put it on there. It's just weird. You thought it would just automatically recognise it, wouldn't it? But obviously not. Still a good game though. I'll keep watching the trailer for the second remake. I think, I really want that now. But is it February or March is coming out?
February 29th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be good. Should you get that day one, Webby, or are you going to wait for it?
Oh, probably. Well, the rumours is that it's coming to PC a couple of months later, but nothing's confirmed. So I did say I'd hold out, but I don't know if I will.
If that's got exclusivity, the minimum I'd have is 6 months, wouldn't it? You'd never wait 6 months, would you?
No, because I'm too much.
I'm sure as part of the exclusivity deal, they wouldn't tell you how long it is. Obviously, PlayStation wants you to buy it for them. They don't want you to. If it was, say, 3 months or 6 months, people would be, no, I'll just wait for the PC version rather than just buy it from PS5.
Yep.
I mean, you'll buy it on both anyway. You know you will, Webby.
Probably.
Yeah, so who's next?
Me again. So I went back to a PS4 game that I bought when it came out, but never really got round to playing it properly because I think a load of other stuff came out around the same time. And I know that if you play it on the PS4 it runs a lot smoother than what it did originally.
What game is this, sorry?
It's One Piece Pirate Warriors 4.
Oh, okay.
It's obviously a Musu game, like the Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, etc., but in the One Piece universe.
Yeah.
Using those characters and stuff. And I haven't watched the new Netflix show and stuff that's been about, but because I've heard loads of people talking about it, it's made me think like, oh, I should go back and try that out, especially considering they added the new DLC that covers more of the recent arcs and characters, etc.
Is the Netflix show like the live action one though?
Yeah, that is the live action one that I've heard people talk about. People have actually said it's actually decent. It's kind of like in its own way a pretty good thing, but the actual creator was involved in the actual live action show quite a bit.
Right.
So it's always good to actually have the creator there to go, yeah, no, you don't want to do it like this, you do it like this, etc., etc. Because it's his story, his characters.
Yeah.
Per se. But it plays fantastic. There's times when there's just so much shit going on screen.
That's cool.
Like, it's amazing that things actually are now to the point where it's all caught up with that. Because even with the Dynasty games back in the day, you'd get the odd bit of slowdown here and there in those. But I've yet to really come across any in this. And the combat's fun, free flowing. So your special moves are sort of all tied to holding down one of the trigger buttons and then using one of the 4 buttons you can assign different moves to.
Okay.
Was that a free upgrade for the next gen patch?
No, it's just a back compat thing. It's just one of those ones where when you play it through a more powerful system, it doesn't run into as many issues as it might have done on the previous gen.
That's good.
So I don't think it's like over 1080p resolution, because it pretty much wasn't. Anyway, and you can really tell when it comes to obviously cell shaded games whether they're in like over the 1080p, because they just look so much crisper. Because although character models like cell shaded style look fantastic up close, it's when they move away they lose a lot of the detail and get a little pixely in places.
Right, okay, makes sense.
Which is eliminated mostly with like increased resolution, which would make sense. But yeah, you basically can upgrade your character using a variety of currencies and stuff. So you have these things called maps, and you put points into like defense up, attack up, adding different special moves to your arsenal, leveling those up, buying like abilities that you can stock it into a skill slot. Things like find more money in the stage, etc., which are good because you use that for a lot of the currency for the moves and stuff.
Okay.
And they carry across all characters, and then each character has their own separate sort of like map as well, where you can increase them. And then there's another one which is like a soul map, which you get these souls randomly at different points in the game. And I've literally only got about 3 of them, and I still haven't got enough yet to be able to start spending into that. But that basically lets characters go past their limits. So it's like they all have max stats, but then you can push it even further. But yeah, it's very colourful, very crazy, very over the top. The character designs and everything to it. It's a game that lends itself perfectly well to that universe, in my opinion.
That's good.
There are a few of them that actually do.
Yes.
So yeah, I went through the Alabaster arc and the arc following it. I think it's like the Ainz arc. But yeah, really enjoying that. By completing different challenges as well on certain stages, you can unlock other characters. So I think there's a hell of a lot of characters you can unlock. Obviously, not just his crew, but like the Marines and like the general of oddities that you've got living in that world.
Nice, mate.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Battle bit was pretty fantastic. The way the whole game sort of started and everything. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. It goes like quite haywire at the start. It's almost like, when a game lets you do the first level when you're sort of overpowered, you kick absolute arse, and then something happens, and it's like either time skips you back, or you lose all your abilities or whatever in some games, and you have to relearn them all and become more powerful again.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Cool.
So yeah, that's that.
All right, cool. So I started playing a new game this morning for about an hour. I think it's quite good actually. It's a little game. It's on Game Pass called Cocoon. It's a little puzzle game.
Nothing to do with the 1980s film then about old people.
No. It's made by the same people that made Limbo and Inside.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those games. Now,
so it's kind of messed up then.
Yeah, it is actually. So you're basically this weird bug thing, and you come out of a cocoon at the beginning of the game, funnily enough, and you're in this really weird world. And the art style is pretty cool. But it's basically just a puzzle game. You go to all these different areas and solve puzzles. I've just got to the first boss, and I know how to beat him, but he defeated me, and then I had to come off anyway. So I'm going to go back and do it later. But apart from that, it's all just puzzles, and it's just quite relaxing, to be honest. There's like these orb things, and like teleports you to this weird realm, and then you do these puzzles in this weird realm, and you go back into like the real type world afterwards, which is weird. But yeah, I just wanted to mention it because it's got some really well designed puzzles from what I've played so far. And looking online now, it's only about a 4 to 5 hour game, so not long. So it's a nice little short puzzle experience. So say if you've got Game Pass, definitely check it out if you're just kind of fed up with all the AAA games and how shit Forza is. Want to play something that's chilled out? Definitely one to check out, I would say. I think it's really, really fun. I can't really say much more than that because I only played it for about an hour, but I'm really impressed with it so far. So, and I haven't seen anyone say anything negative about it, which is quite rare these days. All the reviews are positive. A few people in Discord have played it. It's all positive. So yeah, Cocoon, check it out, people. It's good. That's it on that one. So I can go back to Nick.
Yeah, so the last game I played, really, well, DLC for a game, is the Resi 4 Remake Separate Ways DLC, which came out a few weeks ago. I mean, it's basically the Ada 1 sort of story DLC. I mean, it's not bad. It's $7.99.
Right.
So it's relatively cheap for what it is. I know a lot of people got mad because it was basically in pretty much all the Resi 4s that have been out for the last,
it's kind of like cut content, but they have obviously changed things and made it
more...
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, basically, it wasn't in the GameCube, and then when they ported it to PS2 a year later, they added it.
Right.
So, and pretty much the 360 version had it, the Xbox One version had it, the Switch version has it, and this one didn't. But, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if they were making it and that, maybe they did decide to deliberately cut it and sell it back to you. They probably did. What can you do? At least it's only...
You remember the days when you'd finished a game and then you were completely unaware of this brand new mode that was unlocked when you finished it.
Yeah.
Well, that was a Resident Evil thing. You'd unlock like Scenario B and then Hunk and Tofu and extra mercenary modes and all extra things. But yeah, not anymore. Paid DLC. But anything. I think it was pretty good. It plays well enough. It plays the same as the last one, pretty much. I mean, the story. It's old thing. Basically, you're playing as Ada. And it's it's the same time frame as the main game, so you bump into Leon when you would bump into Leon and Louise. And basically you're working for Wesker trying to basically nick this amber virus thing that they're trying to collect. I'm like, all right, so she's obviously off nicking something. But yeah, it's the same. I think you get most of the same guns. I think you get a crossbow, which I don't know if it was in the original or whether I just never used it. But the only difference is, obviously, you start at a different starting place. I think you go to most of the same areas in the game, but a few of them. But the only difference is that Ada, she's got a grapple hook, like in Batman Arkham Knight, yeah? Where you could, like, shoot and then go up on top of buildings. You could basically do that, but it's only certain ledges that let you do that.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. And there's a few bits like what was it, when you're actually fighting people, when you down them, yeah, Webby, if you run up to them, you can like melee them, like kick them in the face and things like that.
Yeah.
But whereas Ada, because she's got the grapple hook, she could be quite far away, and then it'll come up like grapple melee. So you just press the button, so she fires a grapple hook at them and then zooms towards them and then kicks them. So that's kind of fun. It makes it like a little slightly easier and different game mechanics and things like that. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And, they've done a few things, a few puzzles, a few extra, enemies and things like that. And you do get, which you got in the original, where you see one of the bad guys, zombies or Los Plagas, who nicked Leon's coat, his coat.
Yeah.
So you get to beat him up and get it. And I was like, oh, I've got it. And then you go back and he's like, and then you go through and you can sell it to the merchant. He's like, I'll buy it at a high price. So I'm like, you're not having that. That's my boy's coat. So I kept it. But yeah, it's just fun. And the only thing which I think a lot of people were saying is the voice actor for Ada got a lot of crap when it came out to say how, her voice acting wasn't the best. And she does a pretty good job here. Obviously she's got a lot more lines.
On whether it was actually recorded during COVID and stuff. So
yeah,
there was a lot of restrictions during that time. So
I don't think it was recorded during COVID. I think voice acting. I mean, they didn't. I mean, Resi 3 came out during COVID, and then you had Resi 8, which I think was affected and delayed by COVID, and then this one came out after. So I think they started this just after, but basically she just got a lot of grief for being a bit deadpan, stone-faced killer, and I thought, well, that's kind of like who Ada is. She's always been. Did they think she was going to be like a? Did they think she was going to be like a Japanese excited schoolgirl all the time? She's
supposed to be a femme fatale who uses her wiles to get her ways. Basically, she's always been kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But people saying that her delivery and stuff just seemed flat and a bit out of character from how she.
A little bit. I think that also because they didn't get the original voice actor back, I think a lot of people were getting mad. I mean, I didn't. Only because I was aware of it through social media, I was looking out for it, and I was like, not the best, but not the worst voice actor. And if you want to go back to some really bad voice acting.
Horrendous.
It wasn't horrendous. It wasn't worthy of her getting death threats on Twitter, but I thought, it's a lot better in this because she had more lines. How can you judge someone on, a handful of lines and being a bit part character?
Well, you can't necessarily always just judge it on those people anyway, because at the end of the day, someone at the top's got to go, yeah, that'll do.
Well, yeah, obviously. I think that's why a lot of, especially in the 90s when you first started getting voice acting, a lot of like Japanese games were putting the English voice actors, and whoa, slow down, I can't understand it. Oh, now I understand it, that's good. Yes, but now everybody sounds like they're idiots, But, I don't know, I thought it was pretty good, and also a lot of people were saying that this DLC is about the same length as Resi 3 Remake was.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, Resi 3 was short as hell, wasn't it?
It's about 4 to 5 hours long, so, I think it's like $7.99 or $10 in America, and I thought it was worth it, but then I like Resident Evil, so, it's pretty good if you got it. If not, add it to your, wish list that it may come. I mean, they do have a lot of sales on the Resident Evil stuff. I mean, especially at Halloween. I don't know if they'll have a sale on this as it's so new, but like the Resi 8 DLC goes on sale 2-3 times a year. Plus, I think you can pick up like Resi 2 and Resi 3 Remake. They have a lot of sales. You can buy them both for like 12 quid. You know, it's a lot of games for 12 quid. You know, Resi 2 and 3 Remake. But
did you ever rate those Revelation ones?
Yeah, Revelations 1 was actually really good. Apart from the map was a bit iffy because it was originally a 3DS game.
Right.
So you were supposed to see the map in literal, 3D on the 3D screen. It was supposed to come out at the screen, which it does actually. It works better on the 3DS than it does like a flat 2D screen. They should have completely put a different map in.
Right.
Instead they've got like a map that you can sort of rotate as if it was 3D, but it just doesn't. So sometimes you get a little bit lost, like trying to navigate. It's the same as all the other games. A lot of games you've got to follow the yellow dot. It's just that's the only gripe. I mean, it's good. It's like an old school Resi game, like horror, survival horror, look after your bullets, exploring puzzles and stuff. 2, not as much, but then they did it where that was when they were releasing games like The Walking Dead.
Right.
So that was like Chapter 1 was
like
this, and then 2 weeks later
had to install like so many different bits.
Yeah, I bought it. I waited for it to come out and bought the disc as well. But it was one of those where only the first episode is on the disc and you have to download the rest of them.
Oh, it's only because I've got it on my Steam Deck, you see, and I keep on meaning to play it, and I just...
What, the first one or the second one?
Resident Evil Revelations, all the episodes.
Yeah, well, there's Revelations 1 and Revelations 2. Play Revelations 1.
Yeah.
2, you don't have to.
I don't own 2 anyway.
I'll give it a go, mate. It's fun. And then you get to play as Jill in a skin-tight latex wetsuit, so that's always fun. And then you get to see Rachel, where like one of her trouser leg has gone missing for some reason. I don't know where it's gone. She's a bit of a flirty girl, so that's quite fun. And some of the enemies are quite fun in the design as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give that a go, Webby. I'll definitely play that.
Mate. Sweet.
I think that was the first game I ever streamed on Twitch, Resi Revelations 1.
Ooh. There we go.
There we go. Well, that's me done. I've started a few other games, but I've played like an hour, so I can't really talk anything about them yet. So, but I will next time we record.
All right. Well, me and Darren played a game together on Saturday night.
Yes.
With Angelos, Warhammer Darktide.
Indeed.
And it's enjoyable. I mean, it's been on PC for a while anyway, but it got delayed on the console. But it's got the cross-play finally available. I'm not sure what it's like on the console, really Darren. You'll have to tell me what the console experience is like, to be honest.
Oh, it's fine. I do think it's not as visually, like the resolution isn't as high as it is, I'd say, in something like Vermintide 2.
Right.
That's actually quite a crisp game where I think, like I said to you, I think they've had to make concessions. But there are parts of the game that do look really nice. And then every now and again, things kind of look a little bit muddy.
Okay.
If that makes any... what's it?
Yeah, because it got delayed because it was meant to come out on console and PC at the same time. Then they delayed the console version. I'm not sure if they were having issues performance-wise or what.
People that said the PC version wasn't up to scratch. Although, whenever I saw people playing it, it looked fine.
Yeah, what they were
on about, to be honest.
I've always found it really good.
Like, we've had to delay it, and it's taken about a year. Almost, doesn't it? I think it came out around November, but I think it was even available in maybe early access before that time anyway.
Yeah, I never played any early access. But no, we had a good time. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Because you have like a hub, and then you just get put into a mission, and it's kind of like I've repeated some of the levels a few times, but it doesn't really get boring when you're playing with mates. It kind of reminds me of Left 4 Dead in a weird way in that aspect, you know. But it's very tough, very tough. The first game we managed to,
very random, yeah.
Yeah, the first game we managed to finish the map, but the second one we got absolutely fucking destroyed.
The second one to me was like, you know, when the AI is just like, no mate, none shall pass.
Yeah.
It's like when we went through the first map, people were at least finding like healing items and stuff. And apart from maybe one or two stations, which you can use like once or twice, even though there's 4 of you, there's only like maybe 2 of those on the second one.
Yeah.
And no health packs or whatsoever. And everyone's checking all the boxes because you've got credits and stuff you can pick up for which you can use to bless your weapons and equipment to give it like a perk, we shall say.
Yeah. No, I think it's an enjoyable game, mate. I think I love the ambiance, like the gothic architecture looks amazing, and the music all melds together really well. I just don't know how long, what the longevity is on this, because as I say, like you seem to replay a lot of the levels over and over again.
It's on Game Pass, so people will just download it and play it and dip in and dip out. I think there's certain games are fine to do that, just to be able to dip in, dip out, play some games, jump off. Like boost your character a bit, maybe unlock a few more skill points that you can stick into your skill paths that you do game, try and find new equipment. Although you don't get as much equipment in this as I've noticed as you would in, say, Vermintide.
Yeah.
Because whenever you used to level up in Vermintide, you get commendation chests, which would have like gear in, and you'd get a couple of items of gear for completing a level as well, where you get like a blue box thing at the end. Whereas on this, it's just like, is the cash you earn? Oh, and here's a gift from the Emperor, and it's like some shit weapon, usually, or something.
The Emperor's a tight fucker.
Yeah, and when you level up, it's like you think you're unlocking all these guns, but you're not. You're unlocking the option to be able to purchase these guns from the weapon requisitions officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the higher level you get access to more stations, which you can do more things with and everything. And it's got the game that I enjoy is it's got a great feel to it.
Yes.
Like everything's got a nice weight to it. The guns are meaty. They might handle, like you say, slightly sluggish and stuff, but it fits the universe that it's all set in.
Yeah, it does.
It's supposed to be over the top. And some of the random, like, stray bullets you can have that just, like, nick an enemy in the face and take half of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I played it a lot with Frosty before it came out on console. We played it on PC. We had a lot of fun on it. Just got like, I don't know, I fell off it just because it got a little bit repetitive. But I think now it's out on console and there's a few more people playing it. It's just got me back. It's just always fun to play games with mates, isn't it? So.
I mean, it's all set in like a big sort of hive city or sort of like city thing, which has got like only a few sort of different aesthetic looking levels.
Yeah.
Like in levels in the thing. I think most of the levels are randomly generated because it's similar to the game's always online, which is kind of unfortunate. But at least when you go to the mission counter, it shows you a timeline, all the missions that are currently running, and they change out.
Yeah.
And you can select and modify the difficulty and do you want to cross-play? Yes, no, all that kind of stuff, and then you can match make. You can choose your own levels, but we've been just using the top one because it's if you just do like a quick match make into another game, you get bonus XP and gold payout.
That's right. Yeah.
So kind of, I mean, that's there to make sure people are playing together. So you'll always find groups. I was actually quite surprised how in depth it was when you started the game. Because you start the game and you sort of choose your class, but then you choose all these different things like your starting world, what shaped your character's life experience, what their sort of like ideology is, and all of that stuff translates over to when you're actually playing the game. You're constantly bantering with your teammates all the time. and it's all generally tied into the aesthetic of your character and how you built. Certain characters seem to get on other characters' nerves every now and again.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
quite
there
funny,
initially in the original Vermintides and stuff. Like, they'd be playful banter between the different characters. They've just obviously decided to embellish on it more.
Yeah.
With this, and it suits that universe because it is all like proper gnashing of teeth, gung ho for the Emperor.
Yeah.
Throw your carcass into the charging hordes, etc. Kill the non-believers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, mate. I think it's a fun game. I really do. Just be nice to see more and more people on it.
Yeah, pre-warning, if you do game pass it or pick it up at some point, you have to play through a tutorial for about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Before you actually get to the hub area where you can access to join other people's fire teams, etc. Go into matches.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else from you, Darren?
Yeah, I did dabble with a demo for a game that came out. I think it was like midweek last week.
Oh yeah.
For a game called on the PS4/PS5 called Cry Machina, or Cry Machina, or Cry Machina, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I think it's Cry Machina. To be honest, it's a hack and slash kind of game with robot waifus.
Sounds fun.
It's set sort of 2,000 to 3,000 years in the future when humanity's died out. Your character, or the main character that you play in the demo anyway, is someone who is afflicted by this disease that basically killed 20% of the human population before they all went to war with each other.
Oh.
She died, so I think everyone in the game is technically dead, but their memory data and everything has all been stored by an AI.
Oh, right.
And then give it like sentient life, putting it in a robot body.
That's interesting.
You run around and fight with. It's very like melancholic, in the sense of like everything's dead, Jim kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And you're playing like with the memories of these characters, but then there's another world which is kind of like the Matrix, where the characters actually sit around and chat, and you see them as their actual human version, rather than obviously the mind in the robot.
Oh, right. That sounds quite interesting.
In the real world, you can upgrade your characters. You can sit down and have conversations with them to build up bonds and all that kind of stuff, bits and bobs. So I think it's coming out towards the end of the month, so I'm definitely probably going to be picking it up.
Oh, nice.
The music in it's like really mellow and it fits like the whole tone of it.
Yeah.
It's all a bit dark.
Yeah.
What's actually going on or what's happened. And the characters themselves don't have a lot of faith in humanity and stuff, so they've all probably got previous issues or traumas from their past lives that you're going to find out more about as you play through it.
That sounds quite interesting, man.
But yeah, it was weird that the game's obviously coming out on PS4 and PS5, but the demo is only the PS4 demo.
That's weird, isn't it?
It looks fine anyway. And I will say briefly, I didn't know this, but my friend, I was speaking to him in chat, obviously it's there. He started talking about the Callisto Protocol, and I was like, all right. And he was like, yeah, so like loads of people I know have started playing it. I was like, all right, have they picked it up in the sale? And he's like, no, it's on PlayStation Plus. That's not a bad PlayStation Plus game, is it, to have?
Yeah.
As flawed as it was in some ways, I still enjoyed when I played it.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like I say, if you play the game, yes, it's inspired by Dead Space, but it does not play like Dead Space.
Yeah, well, Peebs enjoyed it from what I remember our conversation. So
if you try playing it like Dead Space, you'll have a hard time with it because it's a lot more, especially early on, about like dodging and counter-attacking and all that kind of stuff, which is sort of semi-automated by just holding the stick in different directions at the right time.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where I'm playing chicken with Game Pass, where I'm like, it's coming to Game Pass. It's definitely coming to Game Pass, and I don't want to buy it because I know as soon as I buy it, it'll come on.
Yeah, have you got PS Plus?
No.
Oh.
But apparently,
obviously, if you had PS Plus, you can just add it to your library, and then it's permanently there.
It comes off because it was on the PlayStation whatever premium thing, and apparently they took it off, and now they've put it on PS Plus, which has annoyed some people. But apparently, when that month ends, then it'll probably go on to Game Pass as well.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the game's been out almost a year again now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Dead Space to come on to the EA whatever thing.
I've actually seen that finally drop in price. I did see a website that had it for about 40, and I'm like, I usually always see that at 70. It's kind of just sat there.
20 quid in Asda in the supermarkets.
Nice.
And I had it in my hand, and I'm like, no, I know as soon as I buy it, it's going to go on that EA Access on Game Pass thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, and I have quite a lot of games. So I'm like, I mean, I've still got Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 on 360 I've never played. So
Dead Space 2 was great. Yeah. 3 was disappointing, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it because I went through it in co-op with someone. And
I think they said it was different. But I just thought
it definitely was.
How much I like my Resident Evil games, that Dead Space has just got me written all over it. I've just been busy since 2007, obviously.
Oh, you'll love it. Like, it is a fantastic game, regardless.
No, I saw my mate stream the remake. I was like, oh, this looks right like a me game. Like, the Evil Within 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
Those were really me type of games. And I ended up playing those like years late, to the party.
So I enjoyed 1, but I couldn't get into number 2.
Pardon?
Of Evil Within.
Oh, Evil, really?
Yeah.
2 was actually easier to get into.
2. Yeah, I loved 2. It was fantastic. It had a kind of semi-open world sort of thing to it, didn't it?
I liked 2.
Yeah, I loved it.
I tried to play it twice, and I was just like, fucking can't be arsed.
1 had a better story, but 2 just played better. It wasn't as clunky. It was easier to maneuver, and the guns and everything were a lot easier. But yeah, the story. I mean, I can't remember hardly any of the story, so that's how good the story was.
You can literally pick the Evil Within up 2 for like £5 down your local CEX.
It sold pretty poorly, didn't it?
I think I'm sure it's on Game Pass, or it was on Game Pass for a while. Anyway,
it should be. It's
it's on Game
Pass, isn't it?
Yeah, it is on Game Pass. Yeah.
That's the one where I was like, I'll play Evil Within 1 and 2, which I've got, on disc, unopened. Like, I think I had like the limited edition of 1 as well, with like the bigger case and art book and stuff. And I was like, it's on Game Pass.
Lols.
I mean, with certain games, I was about to say, even if they don't nail the gameplay 100%, like maybe it's got issues or a bit sluggish, if a game can nail the atmosphere and feeling perfectly, that keeps me in, it keeps me playing. Makes me enjoy something a lot more.
Yeah.
I find.
So talk about something that you buy and then went on Game Pass, Darren and Nick.
Yeah.
I bought that Like a Dragon-ition this year, never finished it, and it's coming out. It's on Game Pass this week.
Yeah, I nearly bought it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, no, I better not, because I've got Like a Dragon 1 and Lost Judgment to play.
Oh,
so I thought, I'll play, and I think Like a Dragon is on Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, I'll play those first, and then now it's on Game Pass. So I'm like, terrible.
The new one that's actually coming out next month. Is it The Man Who Erased His Name?
Oh yes.
It's kind of it's the bridge one, isn't it? Where you play as Kiryu, and crossing over into obviously the other characters' story, etc. That's only getting a digital release in the West.
Oh.
But you can import physical copies of it from abroad, which actually have the English language and stuff on it.
Isn't that day on Game Pass?
I don't think it is. I think the one that is the follow-up one, the Infinite Wealth. like a Dragon Infinite World, which is out next year.
The trailer where he's on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when he's in America.
Yeah.
With no clothes on for
that's right, yeah.
whatever reason, which is fun.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, those games just generally are fun. There's serious storylines that run through them, but a lot of it is just fun, wacky mini games and side shit to do.
Yeah, it's as much as you want, though, in it. You can completely lose yourself in all the psychos, all the extra stuff, or you could just beeline the main story and have fun.
Yeah.
I need to play those. So many games. Can we just not release games for 5 years?
How many Yakuza games have you actually played through, Nick?
One on PS2, the first one.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 and never played it. And I've played 0 and Kiwami 1, and that's it. And I've got them all, apart from this latest one. Which is naughty, really, and to have all those games. So I need to play,
especially
Kiwami
if you like
2.
Shenmue.
Yeah, so I've got to play Kiwami 2, Yakuza 3, 4, 5, 6, and then is there 7 or is that Like a Dragon? Which is
Like a Dragon is 7, yeah.
And then obviously Lost Judgment. I played Judgment. Does that count? Because that's like a spin-off, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So I played the first Judgment. I liked that. That was really good. But yeah, so it says just. Plus, some of those games, I mean, the Like a Dragon, that's an RPG. That's like 70, 80, 100 hours if you really go, put a lot into it.
Well, they are all long, really. Yeah. But they're fucking amazing.
Mm.
I tend to not do all the side shit. I just normally just mainline the game and do some side shit. Otherwise, you just be playing it forever.
Oh, some of the side shit, though, is like some of the best amusing stuff.
It is, but sometimes there's just not enough hours in the day,
Well, not just that, Webby. I mean, because I obviously do my Twitch stream and this when I get the chance, and you do a lot of podcasts. You can't, even though you might like to, you can't spend a whole month playing one game.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It'd like be. I mean, you'd have fun, but it'd be a boring podcast, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true. Plus, my attention span isn't good enough, isn't long enough for one game in a month,
No.
We say, Darren?
All depends what kind of game it was, I guess. Certain games just pull you in like that, I suppose.
Well, you have moods, don't you? You have your RPG mood, and then you have a couple of months where you're really into your racing, and then you flip on to something else.
Yeah. I'm an emotional guy.
Or you've got ADHD.
Probably do, mate, to be fair. But my mood dictates what I'm playing. If I'm not in the right mood for something, it just puts me in a bad mood when I play it. Like the last week, I had a day where I was like, I'm going to play some iRacing, but I was in a really fucking weird mood. And then I did a lap in the car and I was like, fuck this. And just turned it off. And then the next day I was fine. It's just, the mood. When the mood strikes or something, that's it. Nothing else will do. Yeah. Where were we anyway in the conversation? I'm kind of lost.
I thought it was wrapping up like what everyone had played and sort of slowly heading into the news.
All right. Well, I'll play if you're done.
Pretty much, yeah. Apart from the usual like Final Fantasy, etc.
Yeah. So I actually resubbed to 14 this week. And I've been playing the new story content on the Steam Deck. Really enjoying it. I don't want to mention any more than that, apart from the fact that the Steam Deck is still getting used pretty much every day. And it's definitely my best purchase of this year. 100%. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit.
Oh, yeah, you can get that Final Fantasy VII voice actor mod to work on the Steam Deck as well.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I might actually do that at some point. So there's that and a couple of other games we've been playing on Steam Deck. Stardew Valley, loving it, just very chill. Planting me turnips. It's great. And I've downloaded a couple of other games this week for the deck. A game called Redout. Redout 2, which is basically a Wipeout clone. And it's a lot of fun. If you like Wipeout, you like Redout 2. So check that out. I've got it for £3 of CD keys. So bargain. And then another game called Distance, which was like £1, I think, of CD keys. Very highly rated. It's a car game, but set in like a funky futuristic world, and it's like one of them ones where it's got like real thumping music, and then you kind of have to drive, and then you have the beat, and you got to like your car can jump and fly and all this sort of weird shit. It's really weird, but the music really brings you into it in a weird way. Distance, it's called. Check out some YouTube videos because it's really good. Really, really enjoyable little game. So just want to give those games a shout out. Not sure if they're on console or not. No idea. Not even looked. But for the cheap price on CD keys for the Steam version, if you got Steam, then, you know, for less than £1, you've got 2 games there, which are really good. So, news. Oh, Darren, you got any other games? Sorry, before I move on to news. I think you said you just played everything. Has he gone to the toilet?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, I must have muted myself. Sorry. No, I haven't played anything else.
Okay. All right. So news-wise then, there's been quite a bit of news this week. Sony have announced the PS5 Slim. Coming out, I think, later this year, before Christmas.
Yeah, holiday.
Mid-November, I think.
Yeah. It's £50 more than the current PS5. So £500, apparently. And it doesn't even come with a vertical stand.
No, that's another £25.
Yeah, it's a separate purchase, which is fucking ridiculous. But
I think I don't know I think it's the same price over here, but the digital has gone up. But I think the same because they've been on sale again, so I still think it's £480.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so if it's the American, it's the same money, but the digital's £50 more. So it's kind of point. So instead of being $100 more, it's $50 more for the disc.
Right.
Kind of makes it pointless why you would only pay £50 less. Plus the drive is $80 in America, but $120 over here.
Yeah, so they are actually bringing out a disc version, though, aren't they, with an inbuilt disc? But there's but the digital one doesn't have a disc, but you can buy a disc add-on, right?
They're selling it separately, and you can just bolt it on, which is odd. Oh, and they've upped the hard drive. I think
the disc version just has the bolted-on hard drive.
Yeah,
they're still separate and can be removed.
Yeah, but they've upped it from the weird 800 and something gig to a terabyte. I mean, you'll still only get like 800 and something gig because they'll keep 150 gig for the OS.
Yeah, but at least you'll be able to fit an extra game on there.
Yeah, not Warzone though, but yeah, it's just I mean they do it. I just think it's cheeky because they made it cheaper for them and cheaper for them to manufacture. But they've just charged the same, so what's the point?
Yeah, but it's Sony, mate, and people will buy it because it's Sony.
It's just when they've made the slim one, and apparently, there've been some mock-ups because they were a bit, they don't like to show them side by side, but people have done some mock-ups, and they're not as slim as they made out they were.
I think it's quite a bit shorter, though, isn't it?
I think it's thinner, but not shorter or something.
I saw a picture. It's short. I did see a picture, and it's shorter.
They said it's like 25% less size and 30% less weight.
Yeah, but it's like But if you can get any of the, I was speaking to my mate. If you can get any of the, the old stock for cheap, because they were selling them off. That's probably why they were selling them off cheap recently, haven't they? Because they want to try and get rid of them before they announce the Slim. Because they were
they put the prices up, didn't they, earlier on in the year? So it's not really.
Yeah, I know, but they put the prices up last year, and then they put them down in the summer for you could get them for just over 400 quid for the disc version. They were a lot cheaper.
Right.
And then they put them back up again within the last month, and now they've announced the Slim. So obviously that's why they done it. They just want to get rid of as much stock as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it is what it is, isn't it? But then you got to look at it this way. The Switch has been out, what, 6 years? Nearly 7 years this year, isn't it? 2017? So yeah, 6 years. They never put a discount, have they? Like a proper... I mean, they brought out the Lite, which doesn't switch and, you know, cheaper, and the OLED, which had a better screen for more money, but I think it's still 280 quid after 6 years. So if Nintendo get away with it, why would Sony think, well, we'll make it cheaper? I mean, you've got to think now that those Switches, what they're selling, you know, if they were making a small profit on, you know, or some form of profit for 280 quid, they've got to be making so much profit on that old tech now, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Mm.
But Nintendo, they always bring out good games. That's what sells systems, isn't it? You know.
There's a new Mario one out very soon, isn't there?
I may or may not already have it on my Switch.
Pre-installed, you mean? So it's ready to go day one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
I do wonder if my Switch can do that.
Download games that you've paid for and pre-ordered early?
Yeah, because my Switch was quite an early one.
Yeah, should be able to, mate.
Yeah, we'll maybe talk about that later.
Yeah. What else news was there? Oh, apparently Disney are looking at buying out Electronic Arts.
These like Disney are bleeding money at the moment. Why the fuck are they thinking of getting into the gaming industry, especially when they literally got rid of their own gaming companies?
I don't know.
That they used to have working for them. Like, didn't they shut down Lucasfilm Games when they purchased the license to Star Wars? I think that everything Lucasfilm came under their banner, including the games company, which they then shut down.
Right. Don't know, that's just what I've read.
It would be easier for them to just license EA the Star Wars license like they've mainly been doing and just carry on doing it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's quite interesting, I thought. So, what else was there? Oh, Minecraft is the first game in history to sell over 300 million copies. That's a lot of copies of a video game. 300 million?
Think how much it would have made if it was a full price title.
Oh no.
At that.
Yeah. So obviously got Alan Wake 2 coming out very soon. It's digital only, I know, which is a bit shitty. But they've already been talking about that it is going to have DLC. Very much like the old ones. Some free and some paid for.
Of Alan Wake.
Pretty much. But for those of you who don't know, in this new one, you play as two different characters. You play as a cop, lady cop, and Alan Wake himself. Sorry. And what was my other one? Oh, yeah. So for those people that like game streaming, I'm not sure how many of them there is out there that like it. The NVIDIA GeForce Now one is going up in price by 40%, which is quite a big hike in prices. So take from that what you will. That's all the news I think I could find, actually. Just double checking. Yes, that's all my news.
Yeah, we did some of it earlier, didn't we? Like the Activision Blizzard stuff, etc.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I will say on the detachable thing for the disk drive for the PS5, I think that is a reasonably okay idea, actually, because if your disk drive messes up, you can just buy a new one and switch it out.
Yeah. True.
And it's a lot easier to do that. But my main issues is that I want to know. I'm interested to know how well it'll handle like the overheating and all that kind of stuff with it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait for them to do comparisons and like all the YouTube videos to see if they've made it better and quieter and cooler and stuff like that, which you assume they have, but
yeah,
you never know. And then you'll have one person like blow vape into his PS5 Slim and say, "Look, it's all catching fire" and stuff like that.
I remember that with the Xbox One.
Yeah, they were blowing vape into the back of it and saying it was catching fire. I'm like, oh, you idiot. But,
yes, that's all my news, guys. Anything else you guys got?
No, I think that's news is sort of slowed, and it's just the games have started coming out thick and fast now, haven't they?
Oh yeah, so I had a few friends that went to Eurogamer. It was on over the weekend.
Oh yeah, did you hear what happened?
Apparently, it was awful. What happened, Nick?
Oh yeah. Obviously, it was awful. I know a few people who went to loads of them. Obviously, I met you there the first time, like at one of those, and yeah, the last bloke who's been to every one they've had, he said, he's not doing it anymore because it was just crap.
Yeah.
Like hardly no people games. And also my other mate who was there likes the fighting game stuff. And the Just Stop Oil lot mobbed the final of the Tekken 7 fighting thing.
Really?
So they jumped on stage when the two people were like fighting. And they covered the screens in orange paint while they were trying to fight. And then they had like a super soaker with orange paint and they were like trying to squirt the big screen. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. I thought, these PlayStations don't run on oil. Why are you here?
Oh. Redonkulous, mate.
But yeah, I don't think it's been the same ever since it left the old place up London.
Well, it went to Birmingham for a couple of years, and then it went back to London. And I just think a lot of they think the same as I think E3 did the same. Well, that just died a death. Then it's like, why would they spend the money they need to spend to go there to show it to a handful of people when they could just upload a YouTube video for free?
Yeah.
And there's no lost messages. There's no people waiting hours in line. I mean, my mate actually played, which is weird because I think it's only on Steam, the RoboCop demo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I was trying to find, but I think it's only on Steam because I can't find it.
Not on
and it's weird. And I just thought that why don't demos make a recurrence? You know, because you don't go to these events anymore. Just whack a demo out, whack a trailer out on YouTube, and then you've got people hooked on the demo, and then you give them a taste of it for free, and they might want to buy it. I just thought they'd make a comeback recently, but
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like Eurogamer used to be great at Earl's Court. You know, when it was there, it was amazing. I have such fond memories of meeting everyone from the community there. You know, great times. My mate Dave rang me a couple of weeks ago and was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to Eurogamer. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "One, you've given me two weeks notice. I can't get me cheap Virgin tickets because like £28 a ticket now." And I said, like, every time I've been in the last few years, it's been crap, you know? And then, so I asked him, so I spoke to him yesterday and said, "Oh, so how was it?" And he said, "It was shit. I'm never going again."
Yeah. I mean, even the last time we went, Webby, that was before COVID. That was it 2019? I think it was the year before COVID. I think we spent about 45 minutes in the actual place, and then we spent about 3 hours in the pub.
Yeah.
Oh, right, so, yeah, I think I went to that one.
Yeah, so it's like, well, we might as well just go to the pub instead.
Yeah. Might as well just do a pub meet up just whenever instead of going to the shitty fucking Eurogamer.
Yeah, it was fantastic when it was at Earl's Court, Eurogamer.
Yeah. It was.
But then there was a lot more games to play and check out and stuff, wasn't there, back then, and rumours of upcoming stuff, and more of that's like few and far between these days.
Yeah. I still remember being blown away the year we went when we got to see Skyrim for the first time. It's like, wow, that looks amazing, you know?
Yeah, but we forget how, like, all the social media we've got now and YouTube and, you know, stuff like that on our smartphones, we forget how kind of new that is. We just assume we've had this for 30 years. Where we haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube didn't actually blow up until what? The late 2010s, like just around about the time Skyrim, so 2010. I think what was it, 2007, 2008 it came out, YouTube. So, you were going around there, so YouTube was still in its infancy when it was still like people putting their own videos up. They didn't realise, the media didn't realise that they could just sell stuff on it. Sell us adverts and trailers and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, things have changed, but not always for the better, because it's not giving us a reason to do meetups anymore, unfortunately, you know what I mean? We do need to sort something out.
The same social media back then anyway. We had Twitter, etc. So
yeah,
you just use it to arrange to meet up and be like, "Oh, where are you? I'm already in the queue. I'm on the way."
Yeah,
etc.
Yeah, man. Good times. Is that the end?
Yes, looks like it.
I want to go to bed. I've got to be up in like 5 hours.
Ouch.
Oh wow, bloody hell! All right, mate. Okay, well that'll be the end then. Thank you very much for coming on, guys. It's been emotional. So for me, Mark Webb, Gamer Take Piss on DSteamID, Webby 360G.
Nick Votes on Twitter and Twitch.
And
so thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.